You walk into a room 5 minutes late. The door opens. For a brief moment, it feels like every eye turns toward you. Your heart speeds up. You suddenly notice everything. The coffee stain on your sleeve, the way your shoes sound against the floor, the awkward search for an empty seat. And before you've even sat down, your brain has already reached a conclusion. Everyone noticed. Everyone is judging you. But what if that feeling is completely wrong? What if one of the biggest fears controlling your life is based on an illusion? And what if that illusion has already cost you opportunities you'll never get back? Because this isn't just about awkward moments. It's about the conversations you never started, the chances you never took, the life you might be shrinking without even realizing it. Psychologists call this the spotlight effect, and once you understand it, you'll never see social situations the same way again. In 2000, psychologist Thomas Gilovich conducted an experiment that revealed something strange about human nature. Researchers asked college students to wear an embarrassing Barry Manilow t-shirt and walk into a room full of other students. The students predicted that roughly half the room would notice the shirt. In reality, only about 23% did. Think about that. The participants believed they were roughly twice as visible as they actually were. And this wasn't just about embarrassing shirts. The same pattern appeared again and again. People consistently overestimated how much others noticed their appearance, mistakes, comments, and behavior. But why? Why does your brain keep lying to you? The answer is surprisingly simple. You experience your life from the front row. Every mistake feels huge. Every awkward pause feels longer. Every insecurity feels obvious. You hear your voice crack. You feel your hands shake. You remember the stupid thing you said 3 years ago while trying to fall asleep. Your experiences are impossible to ignore because they're happening inside your own head. The problem is that you assume everyone else is paying the same amount of attention. They're not, because everyone else is trapped inside their own front row too. Right now, someone is worrying about their appearance. Someone is replaying an awkward conversation. Someone is wondering whether they sounded stupid in a meeting. Someone is anxious about a message they sent earlier. Everyone is busy managing their own spotlight, which means almost nobody has time to stand under yours. Imagine how many decisions are shaped by that belief. The idea you never shared. The business you never started. The question you never asked. The opportunity you never pursued. Not because failure was guaranteed, but because embarrassment felt guaranteed. And embarrassment only feels dangerous when you believe everyone is watching. But the story gets even stranger, because researchers discovered a second illusion, one that might be even more powerful. It's called the illusion of transparency, and if the spotlight effect makes you think people notice your actions, the illusion of transparency makes you think they can see inside your mind. And that's where things become really interesting. The illusion of transparency is the belief that other people can see what you're feeling inside. When you're nervous, you think everyone can tell. When you're anxious, you assume it's obvious. When you're embarrassed, you feel like it's written across your face. But reality is far less dramatic. Researchers asked people to give speeches in front of an audience. The speakers believed their nervousness was much more visible than audience members actually perceived. Think about how liberating that is. The anxiety that feels overwhelming to you is often invisible to everyone else. The fear you're trying so hard to hide usually isn't showing nearly as much as you think. And yet, people allow that fear to control entire chapters of their lives. Nowhere is this more obvious than social media. You spend 20 minutes rewriting a caption, changing a sentence, deleting a word, adding another, wondering what everyone will think. Meanwhile, Most people spend less time looking at the post than you spent choosing the emoji. Not because they're rude, because they're busy thinking about themselves, the same way you're busy thinking about yourself. That's the great irony. The people you're worried about impressing are usually worried about being judged too. The people you're afraid will remember your mistakes are busy remembering their own. The people you think are evaluating you are often wondering how they're being evaluated. As one popular explanation of the spotlight effect puts it, everyone is the protagonist of their own story. People are usually far more focused on themselves than on you. Everyone thinks they're on stage. Almost nobody is paying attention to the performance. And that's why understanding this illusion matters, because the cost isn't embarrassment. The cost is hesitation. It's living cautiously in front of an audience that barely exists. Research on the spotlight effect repeatedly shows that people overestimate how much others notice their actions and appearance, largely because everyone else is preoccupied with managing their own concerns. One day, you'll realize something strange. The crowd you spent years fearing was mostly imaginary. Most people were too busy fighting their own insecurities to spend much time thinking about yours. And when that realization finally sinks in, a question appears. How many opportunities did you miss because you thought everyone was watching? The next time you feel every eye in the room locked onto you, remember this. They're probably wondering who's looking at them, just like you were. And maybe the greatest freedom in life comes from realizing that the audience you spent years trying to impress was never really there in the first place.